Welcome to Final Seconds Unfiltered on IntellectualRadio.com. Um, I suppose I had another camera set up, but didn't get it set up. But hey, we're going straight live from right here. But it's going to be good. So to start off the show, it's a few topics I want to touch. And to start off with first, let's dig into this baseball season. It's spring training. Everybody, all the teams. The Cubs are out in Arizona, which is my favorite team. The White Sox are out in Arizona, also. The other people's favorite team. So, but I just want to go through. We came across some predictions about the playoff chances of, the different teams, and like their chances of making the playoffs, and let's see what percentages that they lie at. You got a lot of good teams that are going to be out there. You got the Yankees who are looking really good, but I just want to go through, each league, and let's just touch on a few of them. First of all, we're going to have real quick. First of all, we're going to go with the American League West. Of course, you got your World Series champions, Houston Astros, coming out of that league. Right now, they're saying it's a 90% chance of the Houston Astros bringing this thing, getting back to the playoffs. So, of course, being the World Series champions, of course, they're gonna be high up there. But in their league, is not a lot of competition after that. You got the Angels, but the Angels, they got Trout over there. They signed the new guy from Japan, who supposed to be really good, Shohei Ohtani. So, he's a two-way player, pitcher and hitter. So they should look pretty good. But in that division, that's pretty much going to be, where it's going to lie. It's not the Seattle Mariners, they're not ready. So it's going to be, that's pretty much it for the division. But so I'm going to take you on to the American League Central. Some of you White Sox fans, that's the division that your team is in. Now, the Cleveland Indians won 102 games last year, and their playoff chance percentage is at 90% also. So, just like the Cleveland Indians, you're talking about 102 games last season. The pitcher remains intact, though they lost some offense with the departures of free agents Carlos Santana and Jay Bruce. They still got a superstar shortstop in Francisco Lindor and can cross their fingers for a healthy season from outfielder Michael Brantley, who is coming off ankle surgery. And once you go the rest of the way down the division, you got the Minnesota Twins, who, they have a decent team. They got them at a 50% chance. Sorry, Southside, your White Sox are only at a 10% chance, but you guys are rebuilding. You got a young team. You guys are going to be doing special things in the next couple of years. And I want to move on to the next league is going to be the American League East. Now, the American League East, this is where you got the Yankees at. Now, when you add up reigning national MVP and his 59 homers to an already talent-laden lineup, it improves your postseason chances. Now, the Yankees are counting on some young players to step forward in the infield, and there are some questions in the starting rotation. Overall, though, the Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge shows to be the best in baseball and propel the Bronx Bombers to the top of the AL East. So, and again, Facebook, I got your, if you make any comments, I got your comments right here. I see you, Auntie. Thank you. Cuz, Carlos, I see all of you. And also, but in that division now, the Yankees playoff chances are at 90%. Now, they also got the Boston Red Sox in their division, who has always been a strong team, always been a powerhouse. So the Boston Red Sox got the power bat that they desperately needed when they signed J.D. Martinez after a winter-spanning staring contest. A full season from third baseman Rafael Devers should further butchers an offense that also features outside studs Mookie Betts and Andrew Biantonetti. Now, on the other side, Boston needs David Price and Rick Porcello to rebound from a rough 2017 season. But they definitely can always count on their ace Chris Sale to do what he needs to do. Also you got the Toronto Blue Jays in that division. Their playoff chances are at 30%. Toronto kind of fell from when they had that big postseason. They're not quite the same team that they have been in the past. But moving on, we're gonna touch on I'm gonna say mine for last. I'm gonna say my Cubs for last, but we're gonna go touch on the National League West, which you got the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers, they didn't win the World Series last year. They made it to the World Series. That could be a little bit of a hangover for them that they made it that far and didn't get it done to play all those games well into the postseason. Sometimes that could take a toll on you, but we'll see how the Dodgers handle that. They got Clayton Kershaw as their ace. Their playoff chances are at 90%, so they're still up there. So they don't have much to worry about when it comes to that. But they lost Martinez to the Red Sox. Well, now moving on to the Arizona Diamondbacks, whose playoff chances are at 75%. Now they lost JD Martinez to the Red Sox, but still have first baseman and perennial MVP candidate Paul Goldschmidt. Now this dude is just as scary as can be. When he comes to the plate, you better watch out. You make any mistake, he's going to take you out the park with no doubt about it. And they got their playoff chances at 75%. The Colorado Rockies also in that division. Now, I like this young team. Colorado could be scary. I know they always been scary to me when it comes to my Cubs. It's just something about this young team. But, the Rockies have signed our ex-closer Wade Davis, arguably the best reliever on the market. Their offense features third baseman Nolan Arenado, center field Charlie Blackmon, and a solid supporting cast. Pitching has always been a question at Coors Field, but the Rocky staff made great strides under manager Bud Black. So, like I said, their chances are at 60%. But then you got the San Francisco Giants, who have normally been there, but it seems like they have fell down quite a bit now. Their playoff chances are right now is looking at like 25%. And these are just like preseason predictions. Anything could change when the season starts. So this is just the way we're looking at it right now, just preseason predictions. So, but after losing 98 games for the San Francisco Giants, they opted to reload. They acquired Longoria from the Rays and outfielder Andrew McCutchen from the Pirates, and are hoping for no dirt bike related accidents from ace Madison Bumgarner. They need Madison to be healthy. This guy he's their ace. He does everything for them. This guy is as clutch as can be. So they definitely need Madison to be healthy, come the start of the season. Now, when we go to the National League East, pretty much the team that you got over there is the Washington Nationals. Now, you got the New York Mets also. We'll see how they do if they can stay healthy. But for the Washington Nationals, after winning 4 of the last 6 National League East crowns, but never advancing past the division series, they got one more crack before Bryce Harper hits free agency. Hence, he's coming to the Cubs. I'm really hoping for that. The Nats have the talent to break through with NL Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg atop of the rotation, and Harper leading an offense that could be boosted by a healthy return of outfielder Adam Eaton. Now, they lost Adam Eaton the whole season last year. I think Adam Eaton is a pretty good player. He's like a little spark plug. He could get everything going, and I think they really missed that. So if they get that back healthy this year, that's going to be good for them. But last but not least, we're going to go into this National League Central, where you have my Chicago Cubs, ambitions of going back to win this World Series again. The Cubs pulled off a late winter blockbuster when they signed Yu Darvish. He joins Cal Hendricks, John Lester, and Jose Quintana to form a strong rotation. It'll be backed by one of the deepest, most talented lineups in the game, with third baseman Chris Bryant and first baseman Anthony Rizzo again leading the attack. All the pieces are in place for a mix and match manager Joe Madden to again guide his club to the top of the NL Central. And the Cubbies to break their devastating 1-year drought. So, of course, there's always been a 100-year drought, but now it's just a 1-year drought, but we go to get to it. And, of course, my Cubbies, they got a 90% chance of making it back to the playoffs. But kind of surprised me, this percentage that I'm looking at right now. The St. Louis Cardinals, they are actually at 70% to make the playoffs. Now, St. Louis has been on a fall from grace, but I guess since they added, a bat to the lineup by the name of Marcell Ozuna from the Marlins, he's a really good player. They're predicting that it's going to do a lot for them. The Cardinals are also looking forward to a healthy return of budding stud Alex Reyes, who can make a big impact out of the bullpen or rotation. Catching the Cubs would be a tall order, getting back to the postseason. However, it is in the cards for the Cardinals. But to just go through that real quick, man, the baseball season, I'm so excited for this baseball season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to the battles. We get into October and all those good things. So it's definitely going to be a great baseball season. But I want to move on to a subject that has been talked about a lot in the past week. And this is, should college players get paid, and how should they do this thing to pay them? Now, we know universities make tons of money on the backs of these young college players. They make tons of money. And all the player gets out of it is a scholarship. Yeah, it's free education, free room and board. Yeah, I get it, but that's like crumbs compared to what they're making off of these athletes. And an interview was done with Carmelo Anthony the other day, and they wanted to ask him about this whole situation. I just want to read to you what he said. Now, the Oklahoma City Star forward Carmelo Anthony met with reporters on Tuesday afternoon to discuss whether athletes should get paid in college sports, as well as the ongoing corruption scandal in NCAA basketball. Anthony took a second to process the question from a reporter before advocating in favor of the players. Here's what Anthony said, according to a video shared by Fred Katz of the Normal Transcript and CNHI Oklahoma. Carmelo Anthony said, "It's easy for me to say I think players should get paid. The players should get paid. How they get paid, I think that's something to be figured out. I think it will only get figured out by the NCAA wants to figure it out. If they don't want to figure it out, then I don't think it will get figured out." That's kind of going in circles. But then we'll continue to have these issues and having these problems. College basketball will continue to go down. Guys are not going to go to college. They are going to force the NBA to step up and kind of take an age limit rule out. I think it's got to be a collective effort between the NCAA and the NBA, just basketball as a whole. The NCAA and amateur sports have been corrupt for so long. We all know that. Whether you get caught doing it or not, it is what it is. That's besides the point. College basketball players, college athletes, period, should be compensated. You got to think about a 16-year-old kid or a 17-year-old kid going to college. Yeah, they get a free education if they get a scholarship, but how are they surviving on those campuses? A lot of them can't afford food. They get in trouble for taking $10 or $20. A friend or family member can't give them money. There are so many things that go with that. I just wish and hope and pray that something happens. I would love to sit down with the NCAA. No, I am serious, just to hear their thought process behind this, what they're thinking, what's the future. I'm all in for athletes. I think we need to figure something out for our college as a whole. This is really big for Carmelo to step out and voice his opinion for these college athletes. And I won't be surprised if you have more players stepping out and voicing their opinion for these college athletes, because You'll have a star player at a school. They're selling his jersey. They're making millions of dollars on top of dollars. But these players are at school and they're struggling. They don't have money to buy food. I mean, just everything that goes along with it. But it's like the NCAA, they're just living up high off the backs of these young kids. All these rules about you can lose your scholarship if you take money from agents and all these different things. Give these guys their freedom back. Let them make the money that they can make. Long as it's within a certain rule and guidelines, let these guys make. If you're a star player and I graced you with my presence to come to your school and play for your school, let me get mine. Let me be able to get my money. Let me be able to have an agent. Let me be able to have that agent take care of me, because that agent knows in the long run I'm gonna take care of him. So I don't, they got to change this. This has to change really quick, because these guys, man, they're out there, they're playing their butt off, and it should be, maybe like the star players would get this. The players that are not stars would get this. So it's just a lot of things out there, and these guys, they deserve to be compensated for what they do. And, I wonder what do anybody have any thoughts on that, and what do you think about college players getting paid and making some money? It would take a lot of these boosters out of the game. You won't have to worry about, these boosters, everybody trying to sneak in and pull these players' attention here and pull them there. Give them an avenue of where they can make money. And I guarantee you they'll stick with that avenue, because they're getting something in their pocket. These universities should be paying salaries to them. We're not talking about $1 million salaries. You could give these kids a $10,000 to $15,000 salary. And that type of money on a college campus, it goes a long way. So, man, take care of these guys. They deserve to make money. They deserve to be able to live on campus and not have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. So that's my thought on that, on the whole college thing. But moving on. It came up. It's some heavy recruiting going on in the middle of the season, and right now, Philly wants LeBron. So they said they need LeBron to complete the process. I don't have a whole lot of, thought on. For one thing, I don't think LeBron will go to Philly. I don't think Philly has enough to offer him as far as, everything outside of basketball. LeBron is an entrepreneur. He has way more going on than basketball. And I just don't think Philly has to be able to offer that to him. But just in case, let's just play around with the idea. If he did go to Philly, you put him with Joel Embiid and the rest of that young core that they have over there, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz when he's able to get healthy. They would be a pretty good, exciting young team. LeBron alone wouldn't get it done. They would still need to get, some shooters over there with them. But I think he could, of course, LeBron would elevate that team to NBA championship, no question. Well, not championship, NBA finals. NBA finals, let me correct myself, because you do still have that juggernaut Golden State sitting over there in the West. As long as you got Steph and KD and Draymond and all them guys together over there, they're going to always be hard to beat. But I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on the whole LeBron and Philly thing? Is it something he should do? Is it something you think he going to, not even pay attention to? During this time of year, you always hear all the LeBron rumors. LeBron's going here, LeBron's going there. I don't think he's going to Philly, but hey, that fan base, they just won a Super Bowl. This would be like a second Super Bowl to them if that was to actually happen. But again, I don't think it's going to happen, but we will see. And moving on, not to beat that whole LeBron thing too much, but it had always been the talk about who's the GOAT. the greatest of all time. You got your young people who says LeBron. You got all your middle age, you're still young people like me, who of course is going to say is Michael Jordan. We have to recognize first, before you could even say that is LeBron, you got to look at Kobe first. Kobe is the closest thing ever to Michael Jordan. And everybody need to realize that first. I love LeBron as a player. LeBron is unstoppable. I get it. But Kobe, you have to give Kobe his due first, because Kobe had that killer mentality just like Mike, where when Kobe wanted to kill you, there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You could try your best, but still, there's nothing you can do. You know, you even have Kobe with the high point game, you know, everything that Kobe does, you know, his post-game interviews, the way he handles the media, the way he handles his team. It's, man, you got to give Kobe his due first before you even put LeBron in the conversation. And I know a lot of people going to be like, what you mean, LeBron? Come on now. Let's be real about this. I'm not taking anything from LeBron, but you got to give Kobe his due. Like they say, Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time. Kobe, the greatest scorer of all time. LeBron, he's the greatest all-around player of all time. So if we're going to argue about this, we got to break this down into 3 different categories, because neither one of them are never going to get the greatest of all time. And I see somebody made a comment. I guess you want to go back to the Ben Simmons thing in Philly, where he said it's only one ball. Ben Simmons can handle the ball and set up the offense. True. That's one of the reasons why I don't think Philly needs LeBron. Ben Simmons is like another LeBron. He's not as good as LeBron. But this dude has skills to run an offense. He's big like LeBron. He can do a lot of things. I don't think LeBron is what Philly needs. I think Philly needs to focus on something else and somebody else besides LeBron, because Ben Simmons is the real deal. And, when he came out of college, that's who they compared him to. They compared him to LeBron. And now, since he's playing in his second year after that rookie season, that he was injured, he's showing that he's everything that he, everybody thought he would be. So I like Ben Simmons. I truly don't think that they need LeBron. But of course, the Philly fans, they're going to ask for it. They're going to want it bad. That's what they want. Hey, when you see something that glitters, you want to go get it. But it's not always the best for you. Not saying LeBron is going to make them a bad team, but if you got all that money, let's use it towards some really good shooters. And I just think Philly just has a really good young core that other options can be even better for them. So that's just my thought, just to, touch back on the whole Philly wants LeBron thing. But just to go back to the GOAT, like I said, we even go to a fourth category. Fourth category being, greatest shooter of all time. Now you got Steph Curry, of course, greatest shooter of all time. He is the greatest shooter of all time. But when it comes down to it, the GOAT, we all know it's Mike. It was never a time that anybody could stop him. They can always try. This man always found a way around it. He never ran to try to join up with anybody. He always wanted to beat everybody, in the NBA, his peers. He didn't want to join them. He wanted to beat Magic. He wanted to beat Barkley. He wanted to beat Karl Malone. He wanted to beat all these guys. He didn't want to join them. So that's why I consider this man the GOAT. When you go through, everybody tries to say, oh, he didn't have the same competition. Yes, he did. If what was allowed then was allowed now, Could LeBron adjust to it? Because LeBron cries a lot about a lot of little touch fouls. And maybe it's just the way the game is right now. You know, if they're going to give it to him, of course, you're going to cry about it. But Jordan had to deal with this. He had to deal with people knocking him to the ground, bloody lips, all this stuff. They were able to be as physical as they wanted to be back in that era. And what did he do? He found a way to get stronger, to get better, to get around that, to go to the NBA Finals 6 times and win it 6 times. I mean, when you know that other team, they just feel like, it's going to be hard, not going to really have a chance. But I'm telling you, it's you have to go back and just look at some Jordan highlights. If you're young and you really don't know and you're wondering, go back and look at some highlights. But before you start yelling LeBron, you got to give Kobe some credit. You got to get a Mamba credit, because the Mamba was nothing to play with. This guy would go in and he would kill just like Jordan would kill. You know, the Mamba wanted to beat his opponents. He didn't want to join up with them. You know, yeah, he has Shaq, but he wanted to beat these people. And you know, everybody need to realize that. And you better believe it, Willis. I'm preaching about this right now, because people need to understand who the GOAT is. I don't want to see no more Facebook posts. It's not even a question. It's not even a question. So everybody just needs to realize this is your era right now. LeBron is in this era. I get it, but Jordan was the GOAT. He's always been the GOAT. And for the foreseeable future, he's going to be the GOAT. So if anybody want to argue with me like that, please feel free to comment. Feel free to comment. We could definitely go back and forth about that, because when it comes to Jordan, I'm real passionate about my Bulls and what Jordan brought to this city. And to watch this man and how he brought these championships here and like everything he overcame to get us to that point, you know, I'm passionate about that. So like I said, if you think anything different, let me know. But you know what? I don't know how much of a you could really support your argument on that. And you know, yeah, well, I get you. Kobe had it. Yeah, Kobe cried too, but Kobe was part of that era that everybody cries in. So of course he cried. You know, but you can't deny what Kobe brought to the table. You cannot deny what Kobe brought to the table. Like I said, this whole era, all of them are crybabies. All of them want to flop. They want to get fouls on you. They want to cry to the refs soon as they don't get their ticky-tack calls. You know, I love the NBA, but, you know, I'm an old spirit. You know, I come from the old NBA. You know, when everything was rough, where you could hand check, where you could control somebody with your forearm. They took all of that out of the game to make it that it's more offense, so you can have more scoring. So the game switched from being defense to being an offensive game. And like I said, that's just the way it is right now. But like I said, Jordan is the GOAT. Check the rings, check the MVPs, check all of that. You know, I love the story when they were in Barcelona playing for Team USA, and how Magic them said that like Jordan, they just wanted to kill everybody. They wanted to show everybody, he wanted to show everybody who he was. When they knew they were playing Tony Kukoc, when the GM was recruiting Tony over to the what's up? I see you. When the GM was recruiting Tony Kukoc, and he was putting all his effort into getting Tony Kukoc over here, and Jordan and Pippen said, "Know what? We going out here tonight, and we gonna shut him down." And according to Magic, they went out there and they just shut him down. They wanted their GM to see, hey, don't overlook what you already got right here. always recognize what you got right here. I understand you're trying to bring somebody into the fold to help us, but don't act like we don't matter. And they went out there and proved it over and over and over again. Like I said, the GOAT, Jordan, always the GOAT, always will be the GOAT, and you know it. So just accept it. It is what it is. Man, I can't even touch on that no more. So to move on, to not to even beat this drum about who's the GOAT, because we know who it is. Moving on, I want to talk to you guys about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis had a game of his life the other night. I think the game before he was like 45 points, 17 rebounds. The game after that, he was 54 points, 18 rebounds. Now, this man should be talked about in the MVP talks. But I know because it's the team that he plays on. He's in New Orleans. It's not a glamorous spot. They're a middle of the road team. They're most likely not going to win. Well, they're not going to win a championship. They don't have enough to win a championship. But it comes a time where we might need to look past all that, because what this dude does, man, AD, the brow, this dude is no joke, man. Future Hall of Famer. That's what he's gonna be. Yeah, going back to that whole thing, Marcus, I hear you. The NBA wanted an up-tempo pace. They shoot threes. I get that. That's why they stopped all the hand checking. I know. That's why they stopped all the hand checking. But that's why all of your favorite athletes, who everybody says the best, get to live in this easier game now. But not to even touch on that anymore. Let's get back to AD. Now, you have some MVP candidates. You got James Harden out there, which it was a close race last year, but he didn't get it. Russ pulled that one off. But you also have, you got, who else was in there? LeBron probably in the conversation, maybe not, but LeBron is kind of hurt from the fact that he does this every year. He's this good every year. People take LeBron for granted. So that's what it is. And John, I hear you. You say AD is in the conversation, but what does that accomplish? Harden is having a crazy year. Harden is having a crazy year. I'm not saying right now at this moment that AD should be the MVP of his league. Harden is killing it. Harden was a runner-up last year, and nobody would have argued if he would have got it last year. So I get it. I pretty much know already. Harden is going to get it just off principle because he lost it to Westbrook last year. But coming up in the future, these future years, when AD, you got to look at AD. You can't ignore him just because he's in New Orleans. So that's my point. You just can't ignore this man. This year, no, we already know Harden's most likely got this thing wrapped up. But we cannot ignore what AD is doing. I hope AD, in the next 3 years where he could get out of that contract, where he'll go to a bigger market. But I know he's loyal. He's loyal over there to New Orleans. But hopefully he'll get on out of there. All right, so Jay, so now you want to go, what if LeBron, Kawhi, KD, and Draymond can hand check? You know what? If they can hand check, you know what? Exactly. That's a very good point. If they could hand check, the defense would be tougher. It'll be harder to score. But the question is, how much would they like to be hand checked? It's not what if they can hand check. How much would they like to be hand checked? Because and it's all about the era that you grow up in. Right now, these players can't stand to be touched and be hand checked. They can't stand it. They hate it. They cry about it. Yeah, if they're able to hand check, yeah, of course. It's going to be better defense even that way. But can they take being hand checked? That's the question. Anybody, you can say what anybody can hand check. What if this person can hand check? But can they take it? That's what it comes down to. You know, how much a man are you to be able to take it? And I know if the game was still the same and you can hand check, you got these guys like LeBron, Kawhi, you know, Draymond. Those guys will be able to adjust to this type of game. They'll be able to adjust to it, and I know they would. And you know, it's certain players in the NBA right now, no doubt, just their physical strength, how strong they are, they will be able to adjust to. They will be able to adjust to this new NBA. And so yeah, you can say, well, if they can hand check, but you look at the other way around also. Now, Anthony Davis has been on a hot streak, but they're not winning enough. Yeah, they're not winning enough, you know. But AD, like I said, this year in the competition, yeah, it's not time. He's not quite, you know, I ain't saying he's not ready, but this is just Harden's year. It is what it is, you know. But in the future, we got to look at AD and give him some credit. You know, yeah, you know, they, of course, yeah, crazy part, they did grow up watching that era. But once you get to the big stage, to the NBA, where you actually have to play in it, they didn't have to deal with it and play in it. Yeah, they watched it, but we're talking about playing in it. About time it was time to play in it, all the rules had changed because they want to see more offense. But I guarantee you, like I said, if the rules were always that way, they could adjust to it. I'm not saying they couldn't adjust to it. They could adjust to it. Not all players. Some of them could adjust to it. But right now, as of now, they don't like to have hands on them. Oh, yeah, that's a nice stat, John. Last 6 games, averaging 45, 15, 4 and 3. Man, you can't be any hotter than that, man. You can't be any harder than that. What he's doing this year is going to get him a jump on being in that MVP talk for next year. Man, this dude is killing it. I wish he would get homesick and come back to Chicago. But I know I'm just wishing right now. It's probably not going to happen, but I really wish he would do it because, man, this dude is on fire. And like I said, what he's doing, future, man, the future is bright for this kid, man. You know, he's doing everything he needs to do to, you know, to get himself where he's going to be that top candidate for the MVP in the NBA. So, you know, those are my thoughts on Anthony Davis, man. I just had to touch on what this dude was doing because, man, he's killing it. He's killing it. So, I had to talk about it and give credit where credit is due because, man, he's exciting to watch right now. Don't get me wrong. I wish they'll lose a few more games so that draft pick could get a little higher for the Bulls. So, you know, I'm not going to say that. That ain't even cool. I'm not going to say that. I just hope they lose a few more games so the Bulls could get that higher draft pick. But moving on, we know the best matchups right now are in the Western Conference when it comes to the NBA. That series that everybody want to see is going to be the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. Man, what probably wouldn't have been like last year, not as exciting this year because they got Chris Paul and the way that James Harden and Chris Paul is playing together. Man, I can't wait to see this series. So I want to ask everybody who's tuning in right now, who do you got in that series? Do you got Houston? Do you got Golden State? Do you think Houston can actually pull this off? Because Golden State got a lot to overcome. It's a lot going on over Golden State that is hard to beat. So, you know, I'm wondering if Houston can actually pull it off. I'll tell you this, I love the underdog. I'm going to be pulling for Houston. That's just what I do. You know, ever since KD went to Golden State, you know, I'm not the biggest Golden State fan because I feel like you're putting a dream team over there. I've let everybody know my thoughts on this whole thing. We know how that is. But, we'll see how that goes. You say those boys are fifth in the West. Let that draft pick. Hey, I can always wish for that higher draft pick, man. Whatever it could be. If they can make the playoffs at number 8, the 8th seed, and we could get that 14th or 15th pick, I'll take it, man. Hey, it's just wishful thinking. Hey, if we got it, I want to get it. Regardless, we're gonna have 2 high, first round draft picks. We should be able to do something good with it. But yeah, Facebook land, let me know what you think about that whole, it's gonna happen. Houston against Golden State. What you think is gonna happen? Do you think Houston could pull it off? I think where Houston is gonna hurt at, Houston, even though they have shooters, Harden could shoot it. You got I'm losing his name, right? Eric, Gordon, he could shoot it. Even though they have shooters, do they go and play that game where they're playing that shootout game with Golden State? Can they win that type of game? I think it's the only way they could try to play it, because I don't know where they're ranked in defense, but at least Golden State plays some defense. Did Houston play any defense? And Marcus, I agree with you. Houston don't have anybody that can stick Durant. They don't have anybody that can stick Durant, because James Harden don't play defense. He just score. That's what he do. He said Golden State 4-2, huh? You know what? Unfortunately, it might be that way, but I would love to see Houston pull it off, man. You talking about exciting for the league, for Houston to step through and pull that off, man, that would be huge. It would be huge. I would love to see it. So, yeah, why it may be Golden State 4-2. I hate to say it. Harden may get mad and just stop playing again like he did last year. He got frustrated and stopped trying. Chris Paul gonna keep him motivated this year, so he's gonna play through it. But man, that's gonna be a good series. If there's any series that I'm looking forward to, I wish they could start that new playoff format this year where you could have 2 teams in the West playing the NBA Finals, because, man, that would be an awesome NBA Finals. And yeah, John, here, you don't trust Harden and CP3 yet. I get it. It's that first year together. Usually it takes longer than that. But when you have 2 highly skilled players, like a Chris Paul, like a James Harden, those players could usually go good together and find a way to make it work. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, they put Clay on everybody that's killing them, because I already know KD, he could guard Harden. KD showed me with guarding LeBron that he could guard Harden. So he probably had more luck against LeBron than he would against Harden, but I think he still could do a good job on Harden. And of course, they put that defensive stopper Clay on everybody they want to shut down. So, but Houston got to find ways to make that not work, because Clay can't play against everybody. He can't play against everybody. But that's enough of NBA to NBA playoffs. We all love it. We all love to talk about it. But I want to talk about, you have the big fight coming this weekend. I love to watch this dude fight, Deontay Wilder. Now, me and my wife, we will both be watching this fight. Actually, I got my wife right here in studio. She don't want to be on camera, but I got her right here in studio. But we will both be watching this fight with Deontay Wilder. And I tell you, it won't sit level. And I tell you, let me find what I have on that. But I'll just go over a little bit about this fight and who he's fighting. It's not the opponent that he wants and that he's cramming to get, but all together, it still should be a decent fight. Now, Giving unbeaten Luis Ortiz a second chance after the Cuban slugger failed a drug test last October wasn't something the WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder felt he needed to do. This decision was more of a want, based on the internal need for Wilder to do what every boxing fan has been asking him since first winning his title in 2015, solidify himself as a legitimate by beating up a top heavyweight. It's not that Wilder, 39-0 with 38 knockouts, who spent most of his career matched slow and soft. He hasn't tried to repeal their reputation of late. In fact, Ortiz became the third straight fighter who signed to face him, only to then fail a drug test in a scenario which is nothing short of unprecedented. Is everybody that had to fight Deontay failing drug tests? Do they feel like they need that extra to beat this dude? Because if you're going to get in the ring with him, you better be ready for them haymakers, because he's bringing them. He's bringing haymaker on top of haymaker. You better be ready for it. But on Saturday, the 32-year-old Wilder will aim for the 7th defense of his title in a career-defining date against Ortiz at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. You know, he said, I have been wanting to prove myself for a long time, and I have been saying that I'm the best of this heavyweight division, the best of this era, Wilder told CBS Sports on Monday. America has had a badass who goes by the name of Deontay Wilder. I just haven't had the opportunity to prove it. Now, the fight that he really wants, he wants to fight England's Anthony Joshua, who is 20-0 with 20 knockouts. Now, I guess they want to unify the titles. This is the man that he wants to fight. But for some reason, this fight just has not been able to be made. Now, I see John Wilder claimed that he wanted Mike Tyson back in 86. Hey, anybody can say that now. Nobody really wanted Mike back in 86, but hey, I get you. I get you on that. Man, you say Wilder taking drugs. This man is being tested. I wouldn't accuse him of that. You know, just like these other fighters are being, found out. If he was doing the same thing, the testing that they do in boxing, there is no hiding that stuff. There's no hiding, performance enhancing drugs and boxing. The testing is like Olympic testing, man. It's too strict. So, but hey, make sure you tune in and watch this dude, man. This dude, he's the real deal. He's the real deal, And just to read a little bit on from, it's like in the lonely 14 years since Lennox Lewis's retirement, which sent the division into its least relevant time in modern history, the only viable heavyweights casual fans could name were Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko in the case of the Klitschko brothers, but most were less than entertained by their dominance. But, Wilder is trying to bring this division back. So, hey, man, I'm excited to watch this dude fight on Saturday. I love the way he fights. I love the way he do things. So definitely be tuning in to that. So to come down, we're going to go into, a segment that I call the crazy and insane. I know you like this. I know you like this segment, the crazy and insane. And, I got two stories for you. The first story I want to go into, honey, you want to come do the crazy and insane? Okay, she don't want to come on camera. But yeah, the crazy and insane. Now, the headline on this: duo running from officers jump fence for refuge at Peoria police station. So now these two people were shoplifting. So when they were running from the police to get away from the police, they jumped the fence of a police station. And then they show on camera the lady laid on the ground and tried to hide behind a bench so the police can't see her. How crazy is this? You talking about dumb criminals? If you got to be that dumb, you need to. Well, I guess pretty much people who do crime are dumb, so it goes hand in hand. But just read, like, probably not the smartest idea for a hiding place. A pair of alleged shoplifters inadvertently handed themselves in after jumping over a fence into a police station while trying to get away from officers in Peoria, according to police. Officers located the pair while responding to a call for shoplifting at about 6:10 p.m. on February 16th. The police said officers approached a man and woman who matched the description of a couple wanted for shoplifting. The pair took off running. The pair, who police identified as a 28-year-old man and a 29-year-old woman, ran directly toward the front doors of the North Precinct building of the Peoria Police Department. How crazy is that? That makes no sense. You're running from the police and you run into the police station. That's just crazy. But another thing, I don't know if this my next crazy and insane that I want to talk about. I don't know if this is becoming a thing, but if it is, people need to stop it. Now, me and my wife experienced this. We won't say who. We went to a birthday party for a kid, and when we got there, we were told that we needed to pay for our kids to participate in the birthday party. I wanted to walk out right then. I wanted to walk out. I was like, I'm done. I've never been invited to a birthday party where I got to pay for my kids to come to a birthday party. So you want me to get your kid a birthday present and you want me to pay for them to play here? That makes no sense. If you cannot afford to give your child a birthday party, don't do it. You cannot charge your guests to come to your birthday party. That is so crazy. You just don't do that. Come on, people. Now this is becoming a thing. You got people throwing their kids a birthday party. They're trying to do these big places. They paying a lot of money. Then they want to charge the parents $20 a child at the door. Come on now. Don't stop trying to live up to the Joneses. You can't do that. You just cannot do that. It's insane. That's my crazy insane for this week. Man, I tell you, I don't even know what to say about that. But of course, you got Final Seconds Unfiltered right here. Man, this show has been a lot of fun. And next week, you want me to introduce you? She's gonna finally come on camera. Get down to the camera. This is my beautiful wife. She's in studio with me today. But this is Final Seconds Unfiltered. Hey, I'll see you next week, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Hey, I'll be here. You be here with me. Let's get it.